Hi, welcome to episode 2 of Sewing Bees Unpicked, Unravelled by me, Jane Haberdasher. No, Jane from Haberdasher. Sorry. Excuse me, it's the end of the day. It's on Saturday. I'm just waiting to go home. So I just thought I'd quickly put a few words together just so we've got something for this week. It was a bit of an odd one this week. Some unfamiliar patterns and fabrics as well. So with no further ado, here I go. So the pattern challenge this week was to make a pair of high top trainers or shoes. This sorted the week from the chaff a little bit because you're dealing with unfamiliar fabrics, unfamiliar pattern, and there were quite a few sort of technical details and some accurate hand stitching as well as top stitching to do. It's not something I've ever made before. I think I might have made a pair of espadrilles or repaired a pair of espadrilles, but that's about it. I do feel kind of like I like to give it a go, and you can get these kits online, but they cost about 50 quid, so you don't really want to mess it up, do you? Because you could buy a pair of shoes for that. Anyway, some people did pretty well. They were always already getting a feel for who's pretty good at sewing. Marnie did really well. I think there were a couple of others. Chi didn't do so well, and I think that was the beginning of her undoing. Anyway, there were some good fabric combinations, but yeah, on the whole, I think more than half of them produced a wearable shoe. The transformation challenge was to transform some netball kit into a wearable day outfit, and they were pretty good actually. Yeah, some pretty good things there. I don't think I'd actually wear any of them, but there were some quite good ideas. I've got some netball kit, quite a bit of netball kit actually at home because I don't play anymore, but I don't think I'm going to be transforming it into anything soon. Anyway, moving on to the main part, which is the made to measure, and they had to make a sports jacket inspired by their favourite sports person. So I've dug out a few patterns. I've also got a few gadgets and things, and some fabric suggestions. So the kind of obvious fabric suggestions are kind of a waterproofy type. So this is a ripstop fabric. So you think sort of Kuggles, and it's sort of shower proof. So we have that in stock and also in a plain navy. And they're about £4 a metre, yeah, in a plain navy, same thing, same weight. The other thing we have is this has got a waterproof backing to it. I don't know if you can see on film, but it's quite shiny on the back. That's the waterproof coating, and then it's just it's like a polyester fabric on the front, but it's actually quite flowy, so you could actually make a decent jacket out of that. We've got people who've made furniture covers out of that one. You could also use this wonderful stuff called Oddicoat, which is a waterproofing I want to say glue, but I don't mean glue. It's a waterproofing treatment, and it says it turns it into oilcloth. Now this side is the side that hasn't been treated, and this is the side that has been treated. So I don't know if you can tell the difference in the floppiness. It doesn't feel as thick as oilcloth. You can hear it actually, can't you? But the idea is you treat your fabric, and then you can sew with it. One little pot goes a long way, they tell me. It's £20 for a pot. So that's something else to think about, because then you could use any woven fabric, nice cotton, and waterproof it first. So that's that on fabric. The other thing I should have mentioned for the shoes, one of the technical details I had to do was to put eyelets in, and they had to mark very carefully where the eyelets went. Some people's were quite uneven, others were more accurate. Excuse me. Some of them use carbon paper to mark where the eyelet should go, which you just put over your fabric, between your fabric and your pattern, and you just mark like a tracing paper, and that brings out a mark. You can use chalk pens, like so, or what I would probably have used, should they be available. These are heat erasable fabric pens. They are like biros, come in blue and red, and they come off with heat. So you can make a mark, and a really accurate mark, and you can draw straight lines and little dots. So you can be very accurate with these, and then it just irons off, or hairdryer, and it just disappears. It's magic. I love it. Eyelets. They were using like a plier type thing. This is actually for snaps, but it was a similar thing to that. But they were using one for eyelets. These little kits, they come with this kind of tube thing and another cutter. You probably can't see very well, but you don't. That's all you need. You need a hammer and a wooden block, and you use the tool. You make a hole, you push the eyelet through, you turn it over, and then you put the other little bit over it and whack it with a hammer. I've used them. They work really well. I've used them on curtains to create a little eyelet at the bottom on our beach hut curtains, so we can hook it so it doesn't flap around in the wind and flash me when I'm getting changed. The other thing that you see them using a lot is the little pin cushion on the wrist. Dun, dun. As far as I'm concerned, they're a relatively new invention, but they're quite handy, especially if you're like me and you pin and sew, so you can just all the time. I'm so used to putting them in my mouth, take them out, put them in my mouth. It's a habit I have to break. And the other thing, which they used last week, actually, I saw them using last week, is a tailor's ham, which is really useful for ironing little corners and collars and sleeves and things, because you can get it into the sleeve and then press it around. So that's the gadgets, and we've done fabric. Obviously there's lots of other fabrics. We've got bouclés and fleece you could use. So I've been through McCall's catalogue. Dun, dun, dun. They tell me that there's a new one, spring summer, coming out very soon, but they are a bit slow getting them out. So we stock all of the McCall's patterns, keep them all here. So I had a look through and I thought, oh, it's not going to be much there. I was pleasantly surprised. So let's start with this bomber jacket pattern. So Jill did a bomber jacket inspired by Nicola Adams in a kind of gold colour. Wasn't bad. It was okay. Not brilliant. But that is a good pattern for that. And that goes up to XXXL. So from small up to XXXL. So you've got different versions there with a collar. Sorry, with a collar or with a hood, or just like a ribbed collar, like that one. Beep, beep, beep. And there's the line drawings on the back. Okay, so that's that one. So this one has got quite a lot on it. It's McCall's 5252. So you could have an overhead fleece with just a short zip. It's got a full length open ending zip version, hoods, no hoods, sleeves, no sleeves, all sorts of things. So the ones who I think they may have followed this pattern actually. There was Angela who did a Freddie Flintoff kind of blue inspired jacket, and then Tom who did, no, not Tom, Richie who did a Tom Daly inspired jacket, but he made it too small for his model. Yeah, so that's those two. 8019. So the picture on the pattern is probably deceptive because they've done it in fleece, so it looks really bulky, but I think this was Annie who did this one. She did the Serena. I really liked it actually. It was green and pink, and it had the kind of curves inspired by a tennis ball. So I think she's pretty sure she pattern hacked that. But that looks like a nice pattern. So with a collar or with a hood, you could do that. 7986. This is quite a useful pattern too. This is more of a overhead style with a quite a long zip down to here, big patch pocket on the front. If you wanted to, you could undo it with a hood or without a hood. So I think Marnie's was very much like this. The khaki with the red zips, and her pockets had a gusset, and it looks like this one, this blue version, has a gusseted pocket, although she may have pattern hacked it. Christian, who did his Tom Daly inspired overhead thingy, or was it full length zip? Can't quite remember, but you could alter this to make it a full length zip. I really like that actually. It had really nice detailing on it. Yeah, and possibly Steve, who did one of the Flojos, sort of 80s inspired colouring. Okay. I also found this pattern that's quite useful. This is in the Learn to Sew section, so it's level 2 Learn to Sew, but that means it's fairly straightforward pattern. It's quite similar to the last one. I think the difference is this doesn't have the pocket on the front. So it's got like a yoke with the zip in, and then oh no, it does have a pocket on the front. Excuse me, just didn't see it in the back. Yeah, and hood, or just a stand-up collar. Other ones, other notable creations were brogans with the chevrons. I thought that looked really smart. I suppose that is a bit similar to that pattern, possibly. Magny's Harlequin climbing, I don't know the name of the climber, I'm afraid, inspired by a climber, and she made it look a bit like a climbing wall with a different colour blocks on it. That was pretty clever. Chi-Chi's Flojo one-armed number, one lace arm, one no arm. She really came unstuck, and I don't know what she was thinking. She didn't finish the sleeve on this side. She just turned it under, and you can't really do that with a stretch fabric because it's just going to go all wavy and horrible. And Deborah, who did a white jacket with red zip, inspired by for the Welsh rugby team. So I think the right person went home. I thought after the first challenge that she was going to have to, she had a lot to make up for, because she didn't do so well on that challenge. So that's it from me. Quite a short one this week because I don't have any shoe patterns to show you, unfortunately. I might go and research how you can make shoes though, and just give it a go, just for laugh, because it's not like I've got anything else to do. I've just cut out 3 things to go and sew at home, but whether I'm going to do them or not, whether the bottle of wine's going to get opened instead. Anyway, I'll let you know. If I'm wearing them next week, you'll know. If I'm not, you'll also know. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling. So have a good week, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.